Hello students, welcome to SOPS's classes. Today we will be solving the CSIR UGC NET questions from the June 2018 paper. We will be solving the set C of the mathematical sciences paper. Now let's start off with question number 86. In question number 86 it has been said that let X be a topological space and A be a non-empty subset of X. In that case, one can conclude that option 1, A is dense in X if X by A is nowhere dense in X. Option 2, X by A is nowhere dense in X if A is dense in X. Option 3, A is dense in X if the interior of X by A is empty. And option 4, the interior of X by A is empty if A is dense in X. So these are the four options. It has been said that X is a topological space and A is the non-empty subset of X. So we need to understand options about these options about being of it being dense and not being dense, nowhere being dense. So let's start now. Now it has been said that A is nowhere dense. Now A is nowhere dense. So if A is nowhere dense, then that implies that complement of closure of A is dense in X. So that implies that X by A bar, the A bar is basically the complement of closure of A, is X by A bar is dense in X if A is nowhere dense. So now in our case we have been given that here in option 1 it has been given that X by A is nowhere dense. Now if X by A bar is nowhere dense, that implies that X by A bar is dense in X. So that implies that X by A bar is dense in X. So that implies that A bar is dense in X. So if A bar is dense in X, that implies that bar over A bar is equal to X, and this implies that A is dense in X. Now you are concerned that how I have from A bar is dense in X, we have got bar over A bar. Now we know that A bar is basically equal to A bar, and we already know that A bar is equal to X. Okay, this is what we know since A bar is dense in X. So therefore option 1 is correct. Now let us shift our focus to the second option. In the second option it has been said that X by A is nowhere dense in X if A is dense in X. So now what we'll try to do is that here for option 2, X is equal to R and A will take A as the set of the rational numbers Q. So therefore this implies that A is dense in X, and X by A, this will become R by Q, which is nothing but the set of all irrational numbers, and this set of irrational numbers is also dense in R, or we can say that is in X. Okay, so this is what we have got. So the option 2, we said that X by A is nowhere dense if A is dense in X, is wrong. So therefore option 2 is false. So therefore option 2 is false. Now in the third option it has been said that A is dense in X if the interior of X by A is empty. So this is what we are trying to solve now for option 3. Now in option 3, we know that by definition interior of x by a, which we can also write as int x by a, is open. Now if this is open, and also it has been said that interior of x by a is non-empty here, non-empty, then if we choose a point, suppose that point we can take as x naught from the interior of x by a, now if there is a neighborhood, we can take this neighborhood as suppose u, and we are taking this neighborhood since interior of x by a is open. Now if there is a neighborhood, it is possible that x naught point, which is from the interior of x by a, belongs to u, and u is the proper subset of x by a. Now if u is the proper subset of x by a, and since a is dense in x, so that implies that a intersection u is not equal to phi, which is nothing but a contradiction. So if this is a contradiction, so that implies that interior of x by a must be empty, and if this is true, then that implies that option 3 is correct. Now let us shift our focus to option 4. Let me insert another page over here. Now for option 4, we have already got that option 4. In option 4, we have already got that a is dense in x if and only if x by a bar is nowhere dense. So this is what we have got. So if this statement we have already got, that this implies that interior of x minus a bar will be equal to phi, and this will imply that interior of x bar minus a bar will be also equal to phi, and this in turn will give us that interior of x minus a whole bar over x minus a will be equal to phi, and this will finally give us that interior of the set x minus a will be also equal to phi, and that implies that option 4 is correct. So the correct options in this question are, option 1 is correct, option 2 is false, option 3 is correct, and option 4 is also correct. So these are the 3 correct options of this question. So today we have solved question number 86 from the CSIR UGC NET question paper of June 2018. We'll be solving the next questions in the subsequent videos. Till then, keep watching Solve Classes videos for more classes and solutions. Thank you very much.